Hi, good afternoon, one and all. Welcome to today 8th biology, the cell, basic unit of life, continuation part of the video. Today we are going to explain about the nucleus in onion peel and the nucleus in the human cheek cell and the significant observation of nucleus by Robert Brown. So I would like to remind once again. Today we are going to discuss about three more prominent features, particularly about the cell structure. Apart from that, cell, already in the previous video we observed that onion peel cell under compound microscope and human cheek cell under the compound microscope. It was very clear. Today we are going to observe the prominent structure of the each and every cell. There is a circular spot-like, a dot-like structure which is very prominent in the both plant cell and animal cell. That center part which is occupied a clear a circular spot that we call as a nucleus, which was observed by Robert Brown around 150 years of later observation of that Robert Hooke cell. So nearly after 150 years later, the discovery of the cell, a significant observation by the Robert Brown, who is the scientist. Robert Brown observed the nucleus in arched leaves. So he is the person of Robert Brown. Actually, a significant observation is the person of Robert Brown. In page number 18, once we have to open and go through that textbook, page number 18, we can observe that Robert Brown in 1831 he observed a prominent structure which is present in both plant cell and animal cell, but he observed in that arched leaves. Robert Brown noticed a near circular spot that was slightly more opaque than the surrounding areas. He noted that the similar structure was present in that other cells as well as, so he got that the name nucleus. Actually, before the Robert Brown, one of the scientists, Felix Fontana and a few other scientists first saw the nucleus in the epithelial cells. Epithelium means the outermost cells of the outermost layer of the animal body in the 18th century, but the credit for observing the nucleus in different kinds of cells and recognizing that it was in the cells, recognizing that it was in the integral part of all the cells, it goes to that Robert Brown. So the significant observation by the Robert Brown around 1831. So in the previous lab activities, just we observed the onion peel cell specimen observation and human cheek cell specimen observation, but in this part we are going to observe that the part of nucleus which is almost present in all the cells, a clear circular spot is present. This spot is called as a nucleus. So the significant observation by Robert Brown around 150 years later, the discovery of Robert Hooke of the cell. So around 150 years later, the Robert Brown discovered the nucleus in the arched leaves. And also we can observe that, so this is the leaf structure. When we observe the leaf, here we can observe that three stomata are observed. Here the opening and closing apertures of the leaf for especially gaseous exchange, that we have to observe that stomata. So stomata are the structures which are present in the leaf. So this is called as observation of nucleus in the onion peel cell. So when we observe that onion peel, we have to observe that the clear spot-like structures, nucleus. So coming to that, in the same manner, when we observe that human cheek cell nucleus. So, but in the previous activity number 3, we conducted a lab activity regarding human cheek cell without staining. But here when we are adding the saffron or crystal violet or methyl orange or methyl blue, After staining, the stain should be absorbed by the specimen, so that the specimen, that means human cheek cell, appeared in that pink in a color. Pink in a color. When we observe the human cheek cell structure, we have to observe that three prominent structures. One is nucleus, cytoplasm and cell membrane. So nucleus, cytoplasm and cell membrane, these are the prominent parts which we are going to identify in the human cheek cell. So based on that, they are going to ask that four questions. Like to answer that questions. What are the structures present in the cells? What are the structures present in the cells means 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 means nucleus, cell membrane, cytoplasm. Did you observe that tiny dark stained thing, all the cells? Yes, the nucleus is present in all the cells, all the human cheek cells or all the onion peel cells. The tiny dark stained thing is present in all the cells. That is nothing but a nucleus. Are they located in the center of the cells in both the cells? No. While we are observing the onion peel, the nucleus is a corner. Nucleus is a corner of the onion peel cells, because of in a plant cell the nucleus is a corner more or less, whereas in case of human cheek cells, I mean that animal cell, it is nearly occupied in the center of the space. So that is the clear difference of nucleus both in a plant cell and animal cell. Next, what is the difference between the boundary of onion cell and human cheek cell? When we observe that the boundary line, when we observe the boundary line, we can observe that the additional layer of the cell membrane, cell wall is present. Whereas in that, come to this, actually, while we are observing the onion peel cells, we have an additional layer which is covered by the boundary layer. This is called as a cell wall. Cell wall is present in the onion peel cell or plant cells as an additional layer of boundary line, whereas it is absent in the animal cell. Only cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus. Three basic components are present in the animal cell, I mean that the human cheek cell. Whereas coming to the onion peel cell or plant cell, they are having the additional layer which is called as the cell wall. So the basic components of plant cell or onion peel cell having four parts. One is cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus. Whereas coming to here, only cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus. This is the difference between, I mean that cell wall is the main difference between the plant cell and the animal cell. So this is the information provided. Next, what is the importance of cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus? What is the importance of cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus in these cell components? So while we are observing the cell of human cheek cell or onion peel cell, the basic components of cell are having mainly four parts in the onion peel cell or plant cell, whereas coming to the human cheek cell, three parts are there. So basically the cell membrane or plasma membrane, is made up of lipids and proteins. Cell membrane or plasma membrane is made up of lipids and proteins. So cell membrane or plasma membrane is made up of lipids or proteins. Lipids and proteins, which is the boundary layer which gives a particular shape and size of the cell, which is actually like a selectively permeable membrane, and which allow them particularly the essential materials to inside of the cell. The waste materials they have to expel outside, so that this is actually like a selectively permeable membrane. These plasma membrane or cell membrane, you would like to learn more in that 9th class first chapter, cell its structure and functions. Next one is cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is called as a fluid filled portion of the cell. The integral part of the cell is called as a cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is a fluid filled portion which is present in the cell. Next, the nucleus. The third part is nucleus. So the nucleus is having some genetic material. The structure of nucleus we will learn in that next topic. So between the nuclear membrane and cytoplasm, between the nuclear membrane and the cytoplasm, a fluid-filled portion is present. Fluid-filled portion is present. That means the cell membrane and the nuclear membrane, a fluid-filled portion is present. That we call as a cytoplasm. Here, the cytoplasm can facilitate to floating of a tiny particles like structures are called as cell organelles. We will study these cell organelles in the ninth class, first chapter. Okay. Next one is cell membrane or plasma membrane, cytoplasm, next nucleus. Afterwards we can learn about that cell wall. So cell wall is the outermost layer which is mainly made up of cellulose. Cell wall is made up of cellulose, which gives the flexibility of the cell. Actually, when compared to animal cell, the plant cells are more hard and stiff because of this additional layer. Cell wall is present, whereas in the animal cell wall is absent. So this is the differences between the plant cell and animal cell, basic structure, and also the observation of nucleus in a corner in the plant cell, whereas in the human cheek cell or animal cell, the nucleus is almost near to the center. So this is the part of the structure of cells and their structure of the nucleus, and the basic components of cell like cell membrane, cell wall, and cytoplasm, and all cell organelles we would like to learn in the ninth class first chapter, cell its structure and functions. Next we go to the diversity in the cells. Diversity in the cells means actually, of course, all the living organisms they have to begin their life from the single cell, that is called as a zygote cell. Even though while they are aging, they are growing, they have to multiply the number of cells. I mean that they are having different types of cells for different functions. So the group of cells which are having a similar structure for similar function, which is defined as a tissue. So that we have to learn in the ninth class, plant tissues and animal tissues as the second and the third chapter. So diversity in the cells means, see, we are having a different type of organisms. Some of the organisms are single cell organisms like Chlamydomonas, amoeba. These are called as a single cell organisms. Like Escherichia coli, like bacteria, and algae, it is just like a blade like structure. Now we are going to observe some of the permanent slides which are available in our science laboratory. That we have to take the permanent slides, and while we are observing under the microscope, it should be look like just like in the textbook figure. Okay, thank you children. Now we are going to collect some of the specimens. So this is called as a paramecium. Paramecium is a single cell organism. Paramecium. Next, this is the human blood. This is the human blood specimen. Next one is this is the amoeba, which is given in that our textbook diagram. Amoeba. Next, this is the bacteria. Bacillus means bacillus bacteria. So these are the slides which are availability in our science lab. These we are going to observe under the microscope. It should be look like in the textbook, like figures. So now we are going to observe the paramecium permanent slide. When we are observing the paramecium under a compound microscope, it should be look like just a small slipper shaped structure, a small slipper shaped animalcule. Yes, it is very clear. Permanent slide, when we are observing the paramecium, it should be look like a small slipper shaped animalcule. While we are observing the plant cell, so this is the plant cell specimen of plant cell. So this is the plant cell slide. So while we are observing the plant cell under microscope, it should be in a nearly rectangular shaped box like structures. So yes, while we are observing the plant cell, yes, while we are observing the plant cell under microscope, the plant cell are look like the outline sketch of the. So this is the structure of plant cell. Yes. So this is the structure of outline sketch of the plant cell. So the cell wall is having cell membrane and green color postures. So these are called as the chloroplast, and the nucleus is the corner. So the outline structure of plant cell just we have to observe under a microscope of the permanent slide of plant cell. Next we are observing the human blood cells. So according to textbook, according to the textbook concern, we are having to observe that human blood. So this is called as blood cells. This is the structure of RBC or red blood cells. So we are having the slide of RBC means human blood. So when we are placing the human blood cell slide under microscope, we can observe that the RBC is having a red in color because of the hemoglobin, hemo plus globin. So this is the structure of RBC. So this is the structure of human blood. Human blood is a dark red in color because of that RBC means red blood cells. Due to that hemoglobin, heme plus globin, the blood is in a red in color. So now till now we observed that plant cell, human blood cell, and paramecium. Afterwards we observed that bacillus bacteria. When we observe the bacteria, it should be in a rod shaped structure. Yes. So when we observe that bacillus bacteria, it is just like a rod shaped bacteria. Next we observe that this is the amoeba structure. So this is the amoeba. So the amoeba slide is having, we are having that amoeba slide. That amoeba slide, when we are placing under the microscope, we observe that amoeba structure. Yes, actually amoeba is a single cell organism. It is actually the shapeless fresh free living aquatic organism. Amoeba is a single cell fresh aquatic free living unicellular organism. Actually it is a single cell, but this amoeba we are considered as the organism because even though it is a single cell, it can perform all the life functions as usual like multicellular organisms. For example, this is the structure of amoeba. Amoeba is having a pseudopodia. Pseudo means false. It is a false foot-like structure. So these are having a nucleus, one contractile vacuole and a foot vacuole. So this is the structure of nucleus. This is the structure of nucleus. This is the structure of foot vacuole. This is the structure of contractile vacuole. This is the structure of nucleus. This we call as plasma membrane or cell membrane. Inside a jelly-like fluid is present. This is called as a cytoplasm. So plasma membrane or cell membrane, cytoplasm. Next nucleus. Apart from that, contractile vacuole is there because of always the water entered into the amoeba through the diffusion process. So that we have to eliminate that the amoeba can eliminate by the process of contractile vacuole, and the single cell organisms, so they can store the food materials in the vacuole. So vacuole is a cell organelle which is present in that actually in plant cells, but single cell organisms like amoeba, they are having a small size vacuole for food storage and digestion purpose. So this is the structure of amoeba. So these finger-like projections are called as pseudopodia. Pseudo means false, podia means legs. So this is called as pseudo means false. It's not a real food. It is just like a false. Why? Because so based on that food particle availability, the amoeba can change the finger-like projections towards the food particle, and they have to capture the food. So pseudopodia means food. This is called as a pseudopodia, which is given in the textbook. So this is called as a pseudopodia. Pseudopodia is the finger-like projections. Podia means feet. Pseudo means false foot. So the projections appear and disappear as amoeba moves or feeds. So this is called as pseudopodia.